The run-off show for this morning is that we are going to get a proper welcome and introductory remarks by the Minister of Foreign Affairs of South Africa. I'm using the term foreign affairs. We don't use that in South Africa, but just to make it easier for all of us to understand, it's the Department of International Relations and Cooperation. The minister will speak, and then after the minister speaks, we're going to take a short break to take a family photo. Our colleagues at protocol will usher us out to where the family photo will be taken, and then we'll come back into the room and get into the business of the first Sherpa meeting. Minister Lamola, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, DG, all the G20 Sherpas and SUS Sherpas from various countries, and from all invited countries of the G20, heads of invited international organizations, the Group Chief Executive of Investec, Mr. Fanny T, all distinguished guests, excellencies, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Sanibonani. This is what you should get used to here in South Africa. On behalf of the South African government and her people, allow me to warmly welcome all of you to our beautiful country. I must say it is a privilege for all of us to host you at the economic heartbeat of our country, Johannesburg in the Gauteng province. I trust that you have had a safe and enjoyable travel and are now rested to partake meaningfully in all the activities planned for this G20 Sherpas meeting. It is quite fitting that the first G20 meeting on the African soil takes place in the facility of an international banking and wealth management group that was founded in Johannesburg, South Africa in 1974. It is also a city called the City of Gold, Johannesburg, where all the economic activities of our country started from, into the modern industrialized African economy, interlinking with the entire globe. As the president of the G20, the collaborative efforts such as this between our public and the private sectors will no doubt ensure the success of our presidency. In this spirit, let me take this opportunity to thank the executive leadership of Investec Group for graciously hosting us as their guests for the next couple of days and extending their excellent facilities for our use. All the other working groups and experts groups will have an opportunity to be hosted in all our 9 provinces of South Africa. I also hope that you will also have an opportunity to view some of our beautiful tourism sites across the country. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, South Africa assumed its G20 presidency on the 1st of December 2024, following the astute and successful leadership of our Brazilian friends. On that note, please allow me to congratulate our Brazilian colleagues once again on a job well done, Maurizio and the Brazilian ambassador. I hope you'll convey our message to President Lula. South Africa's presidency will be held under the theme Solidarity, Equality, Sustainability, a theme that seeks to harness global will and capabilities to confront the enormous challenges the world is facing. In the spirit of Ubuntu, our shared humanity, we will address these challenges through our high-level deliverables and priorities, which lie at the core of the original G20 mandate of promoting strong, sustainable, balanced, and inclusive growth by building partnerships across all sectors of society to find collective solutions. South Africa will use this G20 presidency to secure urgent progress on shared goals through several priority actions. These include strengthening disaster resilience and response, ensuring debt sustainability for low-income countries, mobilizing finance for a just energy transition, harnessing critical minerals for inclusive growth and development. As part of its efforts to bring the Sherpa and the finance tracks closer, closer together 3 temporary task forces, initiatives, and a commission will be established during South Africa's G20 presidency. Priority 1, inclusive economic growth, industrialization, employment, reduced inequality. Priority 2, food security. Priority 3, artificial intelligence, data governance, innovation for sustainable development. A review of the work of the G20 at 20 years, a reflection on key achievements and the way forward, will also feature as one of South Africa's deliverables through a Sherpa track initiative. South Africa also proposes the establishment of a Coast Capital Commission during its G20 presidency. The 3 task forces, initiatives, and the commission will be established to deliver tangible results at the South Africa's G20 presidency. All of the priorities, as well as the overall theme, will influence working groups' priorities and work plans. The South African government also recognizes the significant strides made by the Brazilian G20 presidency in enhancing the G20 as a site of democratic global engagement. The South African presidency will continue this trajectory. A comprehensive dialogue with civil society and other state and non-state institutions will be conducted through the existing engagement groups. Following the approach of the Brazilian presidency, a G20 social forum will be convened, which will precede the Leaders Summit in November 2025, to bring together representatives of the existing engagement groups and other segments of civil society that may offer meaningful contribution to the G20. Ladies and gentlemen and distinguished guests, as we build on the past, set the tone for the future, we must accentuate the need to adhere to universal values, shared norms, and strong multilateral institutions. Now more than ever before, multilateral institutions must be strengthened and reformed to deliver broad global consensus and serve as a platform to resolve disputes. The multilateral institutions with economic developmental mandates must be strengthened, as the need for their intervention is very much bigger now. We all know that many countries, especially the developing world, are still recovering from the economic shocks of COVID-19. Poverty and weak economic growth remain a challenge for many countries, especially in Africa and the developing world. Thus, the themes of our temporary task forces focus on these matters. We will also use this G20 platform to shine the spotlight on achieving the objectives of Agenda 2063 of the African Union. The African continent should receive developmental funds that must enable it to develop at par and also reach an equilibrium with some of the developed countries of the world. It will also receive support in terms of climate change mitigating finance that must enable us to respond to the mitigating challenges of climate change. As you are here in Johannesburg, you are coinciding with one of the hottest weeks in our country, which has also been as a result of global warming. International cooperation and multilateralism are currently confronted with divisive geopolitical, unprecedented challenges, such as climate change, slow economic growth, and deepening poverty. The G20 must make strides in forging a practical, mutual beneficial cooperation that champions an international order that is fairer, just, inclusive, and representative. We all know trade played a significant role in improving living standards in the recent past. Studies from the International Monetary Fund show that trade contributed to global growth over the past decades, and this has helped promote economic development, increase economic opportunities, and lift millions out of poverty. It is for these reasons that South Africa supports the international cooperation and multilateralism. We also know of the benefits this will bring us as we seek to grow our economy and support the development of the African continent. As the premier forum for international economic cooperation, South Africa seeks to amplify the continued value of the G20 as a forum of the world's largest developing and developed economies, a forum that provides leadership and momentum towards the greater global economic growth and sustainable development. A forum whose work serves to complement and foster the broader processes of the various multilateral spheres. We must remain committed to multilateralism and upholding international law and ensure that UN remains the centerpiece of this multilateralism. Its central role in the international system ensures that sovereign states cooperate to maintain international peace and security, advance sustainable development, and ensure the promotion and protection of democracy, human rights, and fundamental freedoms for all. Whereas the G20 leaders set the agenda for our partnerships, we rely on the immense efforts of our Sherpas to translate these commitments into practical cooperation. I'm confident that the next coming days will do just that. The first Sherpa meeting of the G20 is important traditionally, as it sets the stage for the upcoming presidency and the critical conversation on some of the most vital issues of our time. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, thank you all for your determination and continued efforts as the engine force of this forum. I would also like to thank the G20 Secretariat for their tireless efforts in organizing this meeting. I sincerely hope that you'll all enjoy today and the next days of your stay in our country, and all your other counterparts from your countries will also enjoy their stays in the various parts of our country, of our provinces, as they attend the working groups meetings and the experts meetings. And they will also enjoy our hospitality, our music, our culture. They will also see some of our beautiful sites here in Gauteng, Soweto, the cradle of humankind, and many other places here in Gauteng, Table Mountain in the Western Cape, Durban in KwaZulu-Natal, the Kruger National Park, and the Northwest. May you please enjoy this day, do your work, and may the world be a different place, all the engagements. Thank you very much, DG.
Thank you very much, Minister. I think what the Minister has done is eloquently outlined the approach that South Africa is going to be taking as we embark on presiding over this very important body called the G20. So once again, thank you, Minister. I think in South African speak, you've given us the line, and we will follow it. Colleagues, as I've said, we're going to now take a break. We're going to do the family photo. And immediately after the family photo, if we can regroup, if you need to bring some coffee into the room with you. As you can see, this wonderful venue has ensured there's many coffee stations, including cappuccinos. So I do think let's make full use of it. But let's get back